We now have the aged horses to talk about. Who do we got in the aged horse category? Brave World raced great the other day. Travis said, geez, I pinned him with this horse. He's ready to go a big mile. I know we had a lot of our clients saying, hey, can we take this horse back to PEI? Ultimately, this is a tricky subject, right? We get a horse that's going to race good in the numbers of 2, numbers of 3, or the preferred 2 class in Grand River. More leaning towards the preferred 3. I mean, personally, my personal take on it is he's not quite good enough anymore to go down to the Gold Cup. We bought him to go there. We had a good run, and he's raced pretty good. But dragging him all the way to the East Coast to see if he can compete with whatever goes down there. And there's going to be some decent horses down there. It just makes little sense at this point. So I did put it in a video the other night, and we had a response from a number of our clients saying, yes, I'd like to go, but a number of our clients saying, no, I don't think it'd be a good idea. Ultimately, I just don't know if he's there yet. Now, I had never mentioned it, never said anything about buying a horse for the Gold Cup in Saucer this year. Obviously, it's always in the back of my mind, having a horse to bring down to the East Coast to race in the Gold Cup. Last year we couldn't with the pandemic. Now with the borders opening up by August 9th, which would be a week before the Gold Cup in Saucer, and also the ability to go Prince Edward Island this year. Now there will be, here's my sticking point, is that you can't just jam the CDP EC again, like not this year. There'll be 2,000 to 5,000 people there, I think, but not nearly the crowd there was before. It's just not quite back to 100%. So with everything going on and all the horses we have racing, unless there is a surge of people out there that want a horse for the Gold Cup in Saucer, and I'm sure if we looked around, we could find one. But again, we paid $50,000 or more for Lincoln James, which was lots, I believe, at the time. Neither of these horses, I believe, have netted a profit, right? Lincoln James, who we ended up selling after that, or Brave World, who we bought for the Gold Cup in Saucer 2 years ago, I think maybe even 2 years ago. It's wonderful to dream and want to get a horse down there to the Gold Cup, but it's expensive. And if they can't do, and they can't come back and do right away, it's a net loss, and it has been for us. So factoring in everything, the fact that yes, you can go to PEI, but we're not going to have the same jam-packed racetrack we're used to, as far as I'm used to as an Islander. The fact that it's getting a little late, close to August, and that it's very hard to buy horses right now. I suspect we won't have a horse for the Gold Cup. But if you're out there, a lot of you are out there and saying, yeah, I would like to go to the Gold Cup. Yeah, I'd like to go to PEI. Yeah, I'd like to buy a horse for it. Fine. If we get enough people interested, we will. I just don't think Brave World's that horse for us this year. Compass Rose DC, a bit of an eventful race last week, but at the same time showed how resilient and tough she is. Man, she's a nice mare, and I keep saying this because she is. I got a lot of respect for this mare. I think she's going to be a good 4-year-old and even 5-year-old. I know one of our partners, Joel had said to us, "Hey, do you think that we could breed this mare this year, like 2022?" Yeah, I suppose we could. She's over 100,000. She's going to have a good mark. I think she'll probably get to 54 or 55. She'll have a good mark and 100,000 made. She's got a good family behind her. Yeah, we probably could breed Compass Rose DC. Is that the best thing for us moving forward? Let's see what happens between now and January, February 2022 to make that decision. A number of our clients have been asking that question and making very good arguments for it. So yes, we will be looking at that as a possibility heading into 2022. Cruising in Style, a little more consistent. 1-2 his last start. We'll see how he does this coming week at Saratoga. He's always been, right there. Maybe not an open type horse, but somewhere in the mix throughout the classes. I've been lobbying and said that I would like to see him in a more structured event of racing, but we'll see. We'll see what takes place over the next few months. There's certainly no rush to get rid of Cruising in Style by any means. Don't believe me, just watch. Race good last week, continues to race good for us. We'll see how he races Tuesday at Georgian. Globetrotting, I said this from the outset, probably the best horse we've ever had. She's strong, she's fast, and it's pretty obvious she's still trending very much in a forward trajectory. What I mean by that is the horse we've seen we haven't seen her best mile by any, well, she set her lifetime marker last 2 starts, so we haven't seen her best by any stretch of the imagination. I think we're going to have a top flight trotting mare for 2022, but still, as we're in 2021, I'm interested to see what's going to take place the rest of the year. Miss Brampton Beast will try and get it done again. I mean, this is just a filly that's okay. You know, can she do in that 15 class? I think she's probably going to get raced a little harder tonight, and we'll see. If we got to drop her back down into an even softer company, then we have the ability to do that. Just a horse, just an overnight horse. Path of Totality raced great again the other night. That was Roseron Whitney's No Slob. She's a nice filly. Top gold filly at 3 here in Ohio. That won the race, 55. Again, Path of Totality trotted 55 and 3. If we can keep her sound, keep her happy, keep her interested, I think good things will happen from Path of Totality. Again, another very well-bred mare. Remember, a lot of the Donato Hanovers that looked good, or a lot of the Woolners that looked good in New Jersey so far this year are out of Donato Hanover mares. Path of Totality is a Donato or Hanover mare. I would like to see her get to 100,000 again, take a mark of 54 or 55, much along the same lines as Compass Rose DC, and then we'll see what happens. But for now, Path of Totality simply just racing great here in Ohio. Spirited Dio, Spend That Money. We'll get to Spirited Dio in a minute. Spend That Money is back in Ohio, but she's going to be going to Pennsylvania to race on Wednesday. There was just no racing. It was so frustrating. When the lockdown came, we opted to retain her, not rush with her, not get too concerned, retain her because she could race and do well in that class. She could, but the class isn't filling on a regular basis. So now we're stuck with looking for classes for Spend That Money, and there isn't any. So put her on a truck, bring her over here. I know where there's a class for her in Pennsylvania, but it'll likely be means to an end. We're probably going to sell Spend That Money in the coming weeks. Spirited Dio, she's not going anywhere. Second and 54 in the 17,000 class at Scioto. A stone's throw away from the Open, but man, oh man, racing very, very good. Can't wait to see how this filly does over the next few weeks in Scioto. By next few weeks, not next week, she's getting next week off, but the weeks following that. Stonebridge Simba likely heading to the Meadows after this week. This Open is just tough. You're going to give him the rail, fine. Give him a head start if you want. Racing against Mission Accepted in those horses, that's a tall order for this horse. So he'll probably find himself in Pennsylvania in the coming weeks. Time of Houdini has been great for Steve Boston. Second again, 56 and 3 the other night, and looked good doing it. Very, very impressed with him. West 52nd was third in a first overbid the other day. Yes, it's a bottom class, but you got to start somewhere when you're starting to go back up through the classes. And luckily for us, he drew 8 this week again. Man, oh man. Not good. White Tiger's heading to Massachusetts come Tuesday. He'll be entered Friday at Plain Ridge Raceway. So the White Tiger group, you will need licensed in Massachusetts. Please look into that. And yes, if you need any help with these, by the way, send me an email. I can forward them off to Linda, who might be able to help us, or the appropriate people to get him to get you licensed. Not a difficult process, I don't believe, in Massachusetts, but we'll get everybody done. And then yes, 8-hole again tonight. Sound familiar? 7-hole last week. So I think again, probably this week we'll try not to break the hobbles, and we'll try and get him I was going to say a trip. What kind of trip are you going to get from Post 8? I can tell you the kind of trip. A bad one. So we're going to try and mitigate that by probably just taking him off the gate again tonight. So that is our aged horses. Now I look on the bottom of our aged horses list, and we have our brood mares. All these mares are in full. All these mares are healthy and doing well. I got some pictures of Capistrano, just a couple of headshots the other day for Julia and John. She's in good spirits. If you get to Ohio, if you guys plan on traveling after the August 9th, I believe the deadline is supposed to the border is supposed to open up a little bit. I don't really know the rules. But if you're planning on traveling, obviously Stolen Dance is at Hickory Lane Farms. Capistrano is at Sugar Valley Farms. And Muscle Chrome is at, I'm drawing a blank, the Dr. Mossberger's farm in Ohio. I think it's down by Columbus, isn't it? I haven't even been there. Just food for thought, that is the exact same farm that we got Slim Jimmy from and of Tom from last year. So, and then of course we have Canadian Titan is at Winback in Ontario, and Dewey Ann is down in Barrie at Jeff Ruck's farm. So that's where the mares are. Their status as of right now is in full and healthy. A couple of these mares like Dewey Ann have foals beside them. Dewey Ann does. No, she's the only mare that does have a foal beside her. So that's the brood mares and the race horses. I'll be back in a minute with all the stables.